Hey, welcome to my super easy beginners series. I'm going to have a go today at some planes. I thought I'd have a go at something for Armed Forces Day. A little bit of a sunset. So this is a Saunders Waterford bit of paper, about 5 by 7 inches. Use whatever paper you have. I've got a Cotman palette here. There's a link in the description. And I use the same 3 brushes for all this series, keeping it nice and easy and simple for you. Round number 10, round number 6 and a number 2 rigger. So there's no drawing. We're going to come straight on with the water and we're going to wet the whole paper. So I'm using my round number 10, taking a nice even coat of water on. You can come over it twice. You don't want any puddles, you want a nice sheen, no dry bits, no dull bits. If you get down to eye level, you can see whether your paper has got a nice sheen. So plenty of water on. And then I am dabbing in with my round number 10 loaded with water into some cadmium yellow. So you could use a Naples yellow, you could use a cadmium yellow, you could use a raw sienna. There's plenty of options, so it just shows you don't always have to have exactly the same colours. I'm just dipping in and it's a horizontal stroke. I'm going to start to create a really nice blend. Give my brush a little bit of a rinse, load it up with water, and then I'm going to come into some permanent rose. If you didn't have permanent rose, you could have used alizarin crimson, you could use cadmium red, it'd make it a little bit oranger. But it would all still work as a sunset, a nice subtle sunset. So I'm blending this through. I haven't taken too much more on the brush. I want this to be a nice sort of sunrise or sunset, nice and light and glowy. So we're going to silhouette the planes. This is a little bit of cerulean blue. So my only rule with the blue is you don't want to mix it with the yellow because that's going to make a green. So you're going to come into your peachy colours and your rose colours. If you do make a bit of a green, take a bit of the rose back in and that will make it more purpley and more grey. I'm going to stick with my round number 10. Just taking a few more little bits of that blue to wisp through. I've just dried off the brush. I'm just picking up a tiny bit more of the rose. I'm just going to make it a bit more wispy. So I haven't got such a graduation there. This corner's still light. That's absolutely fine. We're going to put some land over there in a minute. So I'm going to dry this one off. Okay, so that's nicely dry. So we're going to pop in a little bit of distant land. So if you can get a couple of layers in, this is going to give it much more of an effect. So I'm going to pop in some water. We like doing a big hill. I'm going to pop in a big hill here. I'm going to take some of the same sky colours. So I'm going to take a little bit of the cadmium yellow, rinse my brush out, a little bit of the rose. You want a little bit more of the rose really. And just keep blending it through. Just follow this really nice edge. So I'm still using my round number 10. I want to keep with the biggest brush I possibly can for the action that I'm doing. Keeps it nice and quick. I'm just going to bring that here. Then I'm going to dry that one off. So when it's dry, it's warm to the touch. I just use a hairdryer to dry mine. I'm going to bring a little bit more land just here. So I'm wetting this area again with my round number 10. I'm going to come in with just the rose. And then you want a dark colour. So I am going to use Ivory Black because this is what I've got in this palette. But you could use Payne's Grey. You could use a mixture of ultramarine and burnt sienna, or a mixture of ultramarine and burnt umber. So this is Ivory Black. I'm going to bring some of that in. It's quite nice because it's a warm black, but it's also going to work really nicely with the warmth of the rose. So we don't want anything that's too black because that deadens the colour. So I'm just going to pop little bits in. This is a little bit of a happy accident here. I've got some little bleed marks where it's not been quite dry, but it's worked quite nicely to make distant trees in there. Then I'm going to pick out a smaller brush. So this is a round number 6. And I'm going to load that with the Ivory Black. Then I'm going to create some fields. So this is really nice and thick, so it's going to stay put. Not much water. And it's coming to wet paint and it's going to give a nice soft effect. So just sort of do a cross hatch. You'll get these little sort of fields and hedgerows appearing. Some trees. But you're not going to eliminate all of that lovely warm colour. You want that to still be there. It's just really showing you how simple a picture can be and how effective it can be, being simple. So when everything looks the same, as in it's the same size hedgerows, it looks too uniform, you need to vary the height. So what I'm doing now is just putting a few different trees in there to make it look more random. That's better. Okay, I'll dry that one off. Okay, so that's nice and dry. So I have looked up a Lancaster plane online and that's what I'm going to go for. So I'm going to go straight on with the brush and the Ivory Black. So I've got a round number 6. I'm going to choose my position and then I'll just talk you through the shape that I'm doing. It's a little bit like a torpedo. The good thing when something is in silhouette is you haven't actually got to do the full thing. You haven't got to get the detail. Just a little bit of the detail. This plane's going backwards. So I've got like a little teardrop on the side. And then there's like a bit of a wheel. Technical terms do tend to fail me. I'm not a plane expert. And then we've got wings. So the wings are going to come out straight at the top. They're fairly straight, but they are angled, but it's a straight line. Then it curves a little bit like that. So we're going to do the wings first. Then we need to get one about the same sort of size. Going this way, sort of mirroring the same sort of angle. Remember when I say to you about seeing the tip of your brush? So if you turn this upside down, you can see the tip of your brush and it makes it much easier to get that line there. Little simple tips like that. Really useful. Right, that one needs to be longer. You've got to balance them out. And then we've got engines. So we've got an engine here. And an engine here. And an engine here. And what about there? It's looking like a plane. I'm then going to swap down to my number 2 rigger because I need some finer lines now. So I've got a vertical coming through here. One just coming through here. Make that a little bit more. Then I've got the propellers. I know what they are. You can't actually see them all because it's moving, so you're just getting a little blur in places, and I'm going to show you how to do the blur in a second. It's amazing what holds together as a plane. Make that a little bit longer at the back. You can tweak. What happens is you end up tweaking. What you've got to be careful of is how much you tweak, because you tweak and it gets bigger, and then you tweak and it gets bigger. It's a bit like windows. Windows on houses are a bit like this. There's lots of little bits of detail. I'm going to make this a little bit higher. That just needs to be a little bit higher up here. So you can see that you can do all of this tweaking in Silhouette and it still really works. It's still like a big teardrop in that first initial shape. With a damp brush, so you want a damp clean brush, I'm just dabbing it off. If you just touch around those propellers in a circular motion, so it's that paint is still a little bit damp. If it's not damp, you just agitate the brush a little bit more. Can you see that? It's creating that effect of it going round. You've got that movement there. So I'm basically drawing with the brush to create that movement, and I'm drawing with water that's just going through and creating that. Got that lovely movement there. You could put more than one plane in. I might just lift out a tiny bit of light. So with a dry brush or a damp brush, not wet, you can come back on. If you go on wet, what will happen is you'll create a watermark. But if your brush is nearly dry, you can lift out little bits of light. So I'm just lifting out little bits of light on the top. Create a nice effect on the top there. Okay, I'll dry that one off. And there we go. So that one's all finished. You've got a little bit of a sense of distance, a bit of a silhouette, and how to paint something by just looking at the shape. And then you've also got the movement of the propellers there. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like, subscribe and share. You can check out my membership channel as well. There's details on my page. I'll pop another video here and a playlist for you here, and I shall see you next time. Bye.